Good evening, and welcome to another whimsical version of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your wisecracking and whimpering host, voice of doom. Hello. I thought I'd go back to my old days, 1983. Same clothes. So, just getting back to my youthful. I don't look much different than I did back in 83. But that's as maybe some cosmetic things going on here too. So, yeah, whatever you can do. I wasn't even going to do a diatribe because it's the same old song and dance. It gets tiresome. I don't even know what day it is. Friday? Yeah. See, the weekend's here already. And they've gotten nothing done. So I'm watching YouTube. I watch myself. I enjoy myself, but watching the news that I get and who I subscribe to and this and that. And it's all about the wokeism, and it's all about the transgenderism, and it's such a distraction. I hate having to go back to this subject. I think it's so irritating. But since I'm dressed for the occasion, I'll just get into counterculture and things like that. I got nothing much to say. I was watching how I can hear the resentment, and it really doesn't have to be there. If these fringe groups didn't allow themselves to be pawns and useful idiots, and many of the people aren't fringe group, they're mainstream, and they were finally mainstream once and for all, and now it's being ruined for them. The old guard gays, which have been around forever. And, great strides have been made, and now it's all being torn apart because it's getting absurd and people are going against it and they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You watch what happens. But I'm just amused at this Bud Light thing not giving up, not fading away into history. It keeps on cropping its ugly head because everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to blame everybody. And everybody wants to play both sides of the fence. And I can understand playing both sides of the fence because, on one hand, a major corporation that caters to beer drinkers of modest means decides they want to expand their clientele, their client base. And they figure if these people all think en masse, and they all get on the bandwagon that we're a woke company and we're cool, then we can get all these young 18-year-olds to start buying their product. When they finagle a way to buy beer if they're underage, which I guess 18 is underage. I don't remember that. I was 18 and I drank. And it was legal. So yes, let's try to get these new people. All right, now, this is an outrage. Why would you have this person who pretends to be a girl on the can of our beer? You make us look stupid. We're going to hold these cans in our hands at the pool hall. All right. Now let's look at the other side. If you're drinking Bud Light as a rule, I mean, you're pretty much down there at the bottom of the, evolutionary chain, because even if you're a beer drinker, you got to do better, because that's just a ridiculous waste of time to me. I would never drink it. That's just me, but I don't see, putting a lot of credence. All right, they have Stella Artois, but let's go on. If you're somebody like Kid Rock or whoever was shooting up Bud Light cases with a machine gun, and you don't drink Bud Light, which if you're Kid Rock, if I was Kid Rock, I certainly would not. I would buy the best beer money could buy. I would go to a small village in Germany to buy 10 cases of their finest, proffering. If I was Kid Rock, I wouldn't be shooting up. I wouldn't be drinking Bud Light. So if he's shooting up the cases just because he's against that company, then he's just being malicious, isn't he? So get it from both sides. The right wing not only are malicious, but they'll kick you when you're down because they're enjoying the wokesters destroying themselves. And you should just stand back and let it happen because it's going to happen. And not chortle and not say I told you so and not kick them when they're down. When all of a sudden Bud Light and Dylan are falling apart because of this big, huge global upheaval. Just let things happen. I don't see any reason why Mulvaney, Dylan, of questionable pedigree, I don't see any fault in anything she did. Nothing. She got a deal with this Bud Light company, probably made a lot of money, and had her picture on the can. So I don't like it when people, want to, and she's a genius as far as marketing goes. I don't know if she just took advantage of the power of the internet, of the snowball effect, or if it was all planned at the outset. But if it was planned at the outset, I'd vote for her to be president. Sounds to reason. Genius. So I give each side a fair chance, and I think everybody should. I don't like seeing these guys piling on when nobody did anything wrong particularly. The only thing wrong they did was make a major marketing error that will go down in history as one of the biggest business mistakes ever. But, that's all. Let's just move on. We got other things to worry about now. What's going on with Petri Dish? He's losing his temper, and I told you it would happen a year ago or more. I said there's going to come a day where his mind will deteriorate to the point where he won't be able to control his emotions or his behavior. And then what are they going to do? And it could happen soon because he snapped at that reporter, and I think when he did that, he kind of woke people up because the reporters are asking legitimate questions, and if they start asking real legitimate questions, he's not going to be able to show his face anywhere. He will not be able to come within 50 yards of another human being lest they ask him a question, because when they decide to unleash the hounds, it's going to be ugly. How can it not be? He's going to be shredded, literally and figuratively, because there will be so many questions that there can only be one thing to do, and that's escape and hide in a closet, cower under a blanket. That's it for you. And then suddenly we hear that you had a stroke or some such, or something else happened and he's incapacitated, but still able to function. So a la Woodrow Wilson, we'll have somebody else calling the shots, and it'll be a big mess. But while the world's blowing up at the same time, that'll make things even more complicated, won't it? We have a senile commander-in-chief who is going to be incapacitated, and they can't allow us to perceive that reality. Objective reality with subjective wisdom, remember? Kyochi, Yogo. You can't perceive that objective reality. Otherwise, our whole facade falls apart. It's obvious. Come on. I'm nobody. Why should I know this? And everybody else is fumbling around with what's happening. So Petri is eventually going to not be able to see people at all, because his last few encounters have been not good. I wouldn't say totally disastrous, but give it maybe a few weeks to a few months, And suddenly he's going to lash out in a way that people won't be able to brush it under the rug. And that rug's going to be very lumpy when they find out what they've been brushing under there all these years. So it's a short one. I don't even plan this stuff, and I don't know what I was going to say. I said something about wokesterism. I'm sure I could say more about it, but I can do another video. Just want to get one in because I feel like I'm on, a roll a bit. Pretty brilliant. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to talk about transgenderism. It's boring. It's something I can, if I have to, I'll talk about later. But debauchery in front of kids, that's really bad. That's Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. That's where if there's any powerful forces out there that are watching, they'll send their angels, just like in Genesis 13. So we'll see what happens with that. But I just don't like this kids thing, sexualizing kids. I've been against it since I was a kid. So I'll leave it there and enjoy what's left of this week, and I'll see you later. Thanks, everybody.